Good evening and welcome to session number 27C. This is the last session of a series on adverbial clauses. So far we have discussed different types like clause of time, clause of place, conditional clause, clause of purpose, clause of reason, etc. Today we have three types. One is concessive clause, number two, manner clause, and number three, result clause. First, I will try to define these three terms, and then I'll give you some clues, means some keywords, some tags that are used to make these clauses. And finally, we'll try to explain some examples so that you can further clarify the ideas involved in these cases. So let's start. First, it is concessive clause. What is a concessive clause? Concessive clause is a clause. It's a subordinate clause. But this subordinate clause and principal clause, there is a kind of opposition of ideas. The concessive clause creates a kind of atmosphere, a circumstance, a situation. Despite this kind of opposition, these two clauses come together, and that clause is called concessive clause or clause of concession, and it is always an adverbial clause. This concessive clause begins with certain tags and keywords like though, although, even though, whereas, despite, while, in spite of, except that, etc. Now, let's see two examples and let's see how a concessive clause operates in a sentence. Example number one, he insisted on continuing the journey although he was tired. Although he was tired, this part is adverbial clause, and this part is concessive clause. Why? Because this part actually has a kind of opposition with the principal clause. What kind of opposition? Read it. He insisted on continuing the journey although he was tired. If he was tired, it was expected that he would take rest. But no, he insisted on continuing the journey. This is the contradiction. So, concessive clause always raises a kind of contradiction or contrast. So you can say clause of contrast also. Example number two, while I did well in sports, I performed badly in exams. You cannot expect that a student would be a good footballer, a good singer, and at the same time a good student also. It is not expected. But contradiction is elsewhere. A success and failure, these two things are put together. While I did well in the sports, he is an expert in sports, very skillful player, but he is not that skillful in his examinations. I performed badly in exams. So you see, in one place he does very well, whereas in the other place he does not do well. This is the contradiction, and that's why this is called a concessive clause. Two contradictory ideas put together in a sentence, and that sentence is a complex sentence. One part is principal clause and the other part is subordinate clause. I performed badly in exams, principal clause, while I did well in sports is subordinate clause, adverbial clause. Adverbial clause may come in the beginning of the sentence or later also. Let's come to the second type, that is manner clause. You understand what a manner is. A manner is the way you do something. the kind of action, kind of behavior, kind of methodology you undertake. That is manner. And that is what we call manner clause. Now, the frequently used tags and say keywords are as, like, the way, as if, just as though, etc. Let's see two sentences. Number one, I was not allowed to paint the wall the way I wanted to do. I was not allowed to paint the wall. This is the principal clause. The way I wanted to do. This is subordinate clause and adverbial clause. The way means in the manner, in the style. Here, the way I wanted to, my method is different, but I could not adopt that different way because maybe my mother objected, because maybe my father objected, because maybe the expert on color did not like it. That's why I was not allowed to paint the wall. Next one, Smita behaved as if she had a very bad headache. Smita behaved as if she had a very bad headache. Smita behaved, of course, this is the principal clause. And as if she had a very bad headache, she didn't say that she had a bad headache, but the way she behaved, maybe she held her head and she was expressing her pain through her body language. Therefore, you can easily understand. This is a kind of manner, and you can easily understand this comes within manner clause because she is not saying anything. She shows her, pain through her body language and expressions. This is a kind of language. Body language itself is a language, gesture language. So this is a manner. So manner clause is like this. Now come to the last type, result clause. It is also very easy to understand. Sometimes there is confusion between result clause and reason clause. But simple thing is that there is some sort of reason for a result. So reason comes first and then second part, its effect, that is result. So when the focus is on the reason, it is reason clause, and when the focus is on the effect or aftermath, then it is a result clause. So simple. Let's see what are the tag words, or say what are the key words that are used to express this result clause. Number one, so that, otherwise, and so, etc. Example, open the lid carefully. Open the lid carefully so that the liquid does not spill over. There is a container, and inside the container there is some, say, milk or oil, whatever. So somebody is talking, open the lid carefully so that the liquid does not spill over. So effect will be, the effect of your action will be on the liquid part. If you do it well, there will be no problem. But if you cannot handle the container properly and you cannot open the lid properly, then all liquid will spill over and there will be wastage. So you see, this is a kind of caution that is given to the person who is opening the can. Now come to the second sentence. The crowd was so big that the police could not manage it. What is the reason? The reason is huge crowd. And what is the effect? What is the result? Result is police could not manage it. So obviously this is a result clause because focus is on the result. Police could not manage, police rather mismanaged because of the pressure of crowd. So you see, this is the way we try to understand these clauses, types of clauses, concessive clause, manner clause, result clause, etc. and etc. So try to understand them first. Read the text and then come to the video. First see the video, go to the text, and then again come to the video. This will help you better. So maybe next time we'll try to see some difficult uses of different clauses, and then we'll close the chapter. But please remember us. Try to subscribe to our channel. Try to share it. So thank you very much. Have a very nice time.